right, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge. I got to see if Raphael's listening in this morning. Uh, Hold on, really quick. Yes. Yeah, that's funny. I I wasn't gonna. That was just one of many, but man, that's funny. Um, and the only reason why I laugh about that one in particular is because the guy's never wrong ever. So that's the one thing that just it kills me every time. Anyway, sorry. Okay, that's a personal conversation I'm having with Raphael right now. No one else needs to really pay attention to that. Okay. Um, so let's go into the first of all, the equity markets have shown a little bit of weakness here just since we've been sitting here. And Thiago, who may or may not be listening in right now, I'm not checked. I don't look at it's I don't the list. If you ever use GoToWebinar, it's very you don't really see who's listening in. I don't know who's listening. I don't pay attention to who's listening in because it's a very little window, and it's there's I just it's something I just don't have time to comb through that and see who's listening every day. But Thiago had pointed out that there's a little head and shoulder pattern here, and I think he's right. It looks like it's breaking lower. Now it doesn't have it looks pretty limited in its scope as far as potential because the head, the neckline isn't very big, but still, I mean, it looks like it's got might have some juice in it. Now, the reason why there's that circle there, let's hold on really quick. Okay. So maybe 2091. But the reason why there's a circle there is from yesterday. So yesterday, if you were, well, if you're a Wise Trade subscriber, but you guys already knew this because we wrote down that the bias chart on the bias chart, the S&P resistance was at 2113. If I remember correctly, because I remember sending out the alert. So 2113, and we went to 2114.75. So it overshot just by a little bit. But what it did is it hit that trendline resistance, and we've reversed since then. So we're actually starting to pull back. And like I said, the yesterday, you can see some of the alerts that were sent. Right. Okay. So you can see right here. Okay. SPX pushing key resistance here at 2113. You guys see that? So I don't like the color of that pen. That's why I have that. That's why I have that circle there, because I sent out a chart showing where we were at. So you can see that. Anyway, so we're rolling over a little bit right now, and it looks like it's a little heavy. Just be careful here. I don't know how that's going to translate into the market. I really don't know. The euro yen's rolling over pretty aggressively, and I really am a little upset I'm not short the euro yen at this point, but it's okay. But look at the euro yen start to break down. I sent out a couple of you can see right here. I sent out the euro Canadian and the euro pound bearish for our bearish wedge setup. That's obviously me late in the day trying to send out alerts. Euro pound is stalling below key support. Those are yesterday, and you can see here's the euro pound. See, the euro pound was we were just sitting here below support. We still have this double top, and it started to roll over. Euro Canadian, this is what Raphael and I were talking about. We have this bearish wedge, and remember we have this inverted head and shoulder pattern, and it's we're testing the neckline, so you're going to get a lot of people who are long right now going, oh crap, because you didn't get anywhere near your target. So anyway, So just a little heads up there. All right. And the equity markets do look weak. Now let's go into our charts and see what we got today. And like I said, I wanted to stay clear of the currency market until there's I really want to stay clear of any dollar pairs until there's a Greek deal or no deal, deal or no deal. You know, it's really I kind of want to steer clear. I just feel that over the next couple of days it's crunch time. Seems like we're nearing a deal, and I wanted to sell the euro regardless. You know, they announce a deal, the euro spikes up, I'm going to sell into strength. If Greece is going to default, the euro is going to fall and it's going to fall aggressively. So I'll sell it after the fact because it's going to fall a lot further even after I can short it. So I'm more inclined to shorting the euro whenever there's some sort of concrete news out, and I just kind of want to steer clear just until now, between now and the FOMC. If there's nothing happening between now and the FOMC, I wanted to focus mostly on cross rates. I did not short the euro Canadian, and I did not short the euro pound, but I kind of want to steer clear of just trading for the weekend and through the weekend, just because I've had a really good couple of weeks, and I don't want to give it back. And I was having a discussion with you guys yesterday about whenever I'm streaking, whether it's taking losses or making gains, I tend to stop trading for a while, take a day or two off, because I'll make bad decisions either way. You know, if I'm losing and I'm taking loss after loss after loss, what I'll do is I'll start taking positions aggressively because I'm trying to make up losses. So I'm making poor decisions. I'm not looking for proper setups, and I start revenge trading and all sorts of things. The same goes when I'm making really good money, and I've had a really, really good last 2 weeks. So what happens is my ego gets the best of me, and I start making poor decisions because I think that I'm invincible. And so I usually need to take a couple of days off, or like I've taken a day off, and it's probably I'd probably be fine just trading today. I'm a little bit more level-headed today than I was yesterday, but it's Friday, and I know that the headlines are pushing the market a lot, so I'm probably going to steer clear today unless I see just something that just jumps out, um, jumps out, um, you know, that I have to take the trade, and but I don't foresee that happening at this moment. Okay, so here's the euro dollar. So the euro dollar is it looks like we're holding the 618. Let's see if we can match up this fib with let's take the range that we're dealing with. Yeah, see, we're at a 38% retracement. Do you see here? Okay, so we're at let's get rid of this 618. Let's do that real quick. Okay, so here's the 38% retracement. That is holding. Now, also keep in mind, we have a double top in play, or, well, at least trying to play out. Hold on. Okay. The double top really doesn't play out until you get down here, and then, then we're going to have to really focus on the euro dollar, because this is really the neckline, double top neckline, and that actually breaks us out of the triangle, and that will be interesting. It will be interesting if that is the case. Now, when I'm looking at the euro right now, I'm not 100% convinced that I want that. Well, even if I was trading, I don't know if I'd really want to do anything here. You're going to have really critical support as we come down to 111. So I'm going to write that down, just because it's a 50% retracement. You can see this, high congestion level right down here. So you have to imagine, if we have a strong producer prices number, a PPI number, which again the market is expecting a strong number, we could indeed you know, fall to 111, maybe this 110.80 level. But I really think 111 is going to be decent support or really good support today. If we get an extended move down to 111, that's probably not a bad bounce area just to be on the long side, even if it's for an intraday bounce. It's not something I'm going to do. Even if I was trading the euro, I probably wouldn't do it. But a lot of the markets like a rubber band. You pull it too far in one direction, it's going to snap back. And I would think if the euro dollar drove all the way down to 111 today, that it would snap back. Okay. So anyway, here's I think 111 will offer support. Now resistance today. So if you're looking to short the euro, that's going to be a good place to short it right there. Okay, 112.25. Now this would be more my style is shorting a 112.25. Resistance, selling right in that resistance. Your stop goes right here. Okay, you sell it at 112.25. Your stop's 10 or 15 pips away, and then you look for a move back down to 111.50. That's to me is the better trade out there. Okay. Um, let's go take a look at the cable. Okay, so here's the pound. So we are struggling, obviously, at the 618. So this is if we have a miss, let's just talk about if we have a weak producer prices unexpectedly, this cable is going to rip higher. But you know why? Because it just has not been selling off. It's held up really well. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think producer prices are going to actually surprise to the upside. But if not, you know, we could see a rally here because it just has not pulled back. We got a nice little triangle developing here. You can see it, we're poised. Okay, so key resistance comes in at 155. This is the same numbers as yesterday. 155.70. 70. Support is going to be 154.30. And by the way, I feel a little, if I sound a little strange this morning, if I sound like a little, off kilter, I am. I readjusted my trade setup last night. I did last night. I kind of moved around my computers. I added one more monitor because I needed it, and now I have to actually make some more adjustments. Now that I've been sitting here today, I realize that I've got to make some more adjustments later on this this evening. But if I sound a little off, that's the reason why. Just letting you guys know. Okay, so there's the pound. Let's go over to the Swissy. Obviously, you guys can't tell the difference, but by looking at what I'm doing, but I just rearranged a couple of things in it, like where my charts are and, what I'm looking at all the time. And it's like, I keep finding myself looking at a certain way. If you ever do that at home as a trader, it just kind of throws you off a little bit. Okay. So I see still key resistance here. And I will tell you guys, and I'm going to say this once again, in the event that Greece and the Troika ink together a deal, I personally am getting long the dollar Swiss, the euro Swiss, the pound Swiss. If they are going to kick the can down the road another 8 months, that's probably the best thing that can happen to the dollar Swiss. The best thing that can happen to the euro Swiss. The best thing that can happen to the pound Swiss, Aussie Swiss, you name it. So if you guys missed that conversation yesterday, okay, if you missed that yesterday, um, it the reason why that is because Switzerland has a negative deposit rate right now. It's what, a percent and a quarter? I have to go back and take a look where it's at. That is a huge penalty for any institution or any bank or anybody parking their money in Swiss francs. That is a really, really big chunk of change. Okay. And frankly, no one, no, no one wants to hold on as an institution to Swiss francs for that long if you know that there's not going to be really any risk of default for the next 9 months. If 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 Greece and Germany, put together a 9 month extension, bailout extension, it's based on higher taxes and certain reforms, and Greece abides by it. Got to buy the dollar Swiss, euro Swiss, pound Swiss, anything, because even if Syriza goes out to a snap election, let's say next month, and then they elect a new government, and that new government raises a ruckus 2 or 3 4 months down the road, it's still 2 or 3 4 months down the road. No one's going to want to hold Swiss francs paying a huge penalty on large sums of money. They ain't going to do it. So I'm hoping that Greece puts together some sort of deal with its creditors, because I want to buy the dollar Swiss and I want to buy the euro Swiss. I want to buy all those Swiss pairs, right? Anyway, if that happens, then above 94 is, well, it's not going to happen today, but that's key resistance for today. All right, 0.9400. Obviously, I'm just not going to run out and buy it. I need to find a good entry point, but you guys get my drift. The first currency on my radar will be this one. It will be the very first currency on my radar. Like I'll go, okay, where am I going to enter? That's exactly what I'm going to, be looking at. All right, support. Where is support? Because by the looks of it, it looks like we're going to come off a little bit, but so probably 93 cents. Okay. Whoops. Range, dollar yen. So I have to admit, I'm so happy to be out of the dollar Swiss. And I'm going to have to pat myself on the back. I had a really good exit down here at 122.69 or so. A really good exit. Remember, I got out because I just didn't want to be short ahead of the retail sales on Wednesday. But yeah, that was just it. It was more. I played the dollar yen pretty lucky this week. Okay, so check this out. Key resistance, and we had resistance at 124 from a couple of days ago, right here, right? We were like, if it gets to 124, it's going to be a good short. Retail sales numbers came out. We spiked just above 124 and fell. But look at the bodies of the candles. Okay, look at the bodies and notice how the bodies cannot close above that previous support. That's at 123.80. So here's the thing. I'm not trading today, but if I was going to trade, shorting the US dollar Japanese yen right now with stops above 123.85, that's not a bad trade. That's if you think that producer prices are going to come in weaker than expected, right? If you think that the producer prices are going to come in weaker than expected, putting your stop above, 123 85 or so and just being on the short side of the dollar yen, that makes sense. This is 80, 123.80 is key resistance right now. 123.80. Like I said, I'm not taking the trade. I'm just not going to trade but today, but if I was trading, I'd probably be getting in that like nowish. Um, is this maybe like that? Okay. And support right here. 123.20. Spike from yesterday. Let's do the Canadian really quick before we take a break. Okay, so here's the Canadian. And we still have this double top. This yesterday was a little scary, I'm sure, for anybody who was short, because I was looking at it yesterday too, going, "Oh my God, this thing looks like it's going to just really screw everybody." Because if you're on the short side of the Canadian, right? You're on the short side of the Canadian, and you're like double top, broke the neckline, broke the neckline, dude, we're down. Your stops are going to be right here. And so if you're short and then you're watching this come up your rear end, you're probably going, "Oh my God, do I get out right now? Do I just take my loss? Maybe I got short right here. Do I take my loss? I know I have my stop right there. Do I get out ahead of time? It looks like it's going to break." And we ended up not. I mean, we ended up just not doing it. So this dollar Canadian still is, the risk is to down here. And okay, so I'm going to also tell you, if I'm going to give you the big if today. Okay, this is a trade that I've been waiting for. So if the dollar Canadian gets to here, I am going to get long. I'm telling you right now. If for some reason today we get down to 121.65, I am going to get long the dollar Canadian. If that happens, it's a 618 retracement. It is a double top extension. I am going to get long right there. Are we clear? I'm going to get long. That is a great place to be long from a risk reward perspective, because I can get long right there. I could put in a 30 pip stop and I can look for 100 to 200 pip gain. Are we clear? Yeah? Oh yeah. Okay. So aye, Captain. No, but that's to me. I've been waiting for that trade, and I can tell you right now, this is exactly what's going to happen here. If that happens, if relative strength, what will happen here? It'll go down, and we'll start diverging as we go lower in price, guaranteed. Well, I can't guarantee it, but you get what I'm saying. So that would be like, if that happens, I'll be pretty stoked, to get that price down there. I just don't know if it's going to happen. We'd have to have weak producer prices. We'd have to have a weak University of Michigan consumer sentiment, but I'm pretty confident though that if we made new lows in price, relative strength will not follow, which means that we'll have divergent relative strength, and there'll be there's going to be a lot of reasons, a lot of confluence down here, and I think it'll be a great place to be on the long side. Okay, now does that have anything to do with today? I don't think so. Today might be a little bit different story. Today we might. Realistically, support's probably going to be right here. Like 122.50. I just don't think we're going to make it all the way down there today. But if we do, man, that would be the Greek gods would be singing. 122.59 is a 618. 122.55. So 122.55. 122.55. That is support for today. Resistance is, well, resistance 123.50. That's significant resistance, and we are in a range environment. Okay. Like I said, I can't guarantee anything. Markets never can guarantee anything. You can't guarantee anything in the market. But what I'm pretty confident is, if we get down here, that's going to be a lot of confluence, and that relative strength will probably pretty confident that that's going to diverge, and so that's going to be a really, really great place to be on the long side. So I should write down, whoa, 123.20, is that right? Yeah. Yeah, we'd have to get decimated to get down there. Oh, 122.60. Hold on. Yeah, 122.60. Okay. All right. I'll be back in a few minutes. You guys don't go anywhere. When I come back, we'll wrap up the majors. All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. So let's go ahead and wrap things up with, let's get these majors out of the way. So here's the Kiwi. I guess I can delete all that. All right. I don't know why that's still there, actually. Oops. Okay. So the Kiwi continues to breach lows, new lows after new lows. And so right now, I mean, just as long as the Kiwi stays below, see this blue trend line right here? Actually, I'm going to change that out to yellow. While we're below there, it's bearish. Period. End of story. Okay. There's just no if and or buts about it. So right now it's as long as we're below 72 cents. Can we rally back? Sure, but this right here is just showing us how important now 70. We had wrote down 70.40 yesterday, 70.30. I mean, that's really, it's resistance, 70.30, and that's key level of resistance for today. It is bearish. Okay, and like on a 4-hour basis, we're even hitting, lower lows. Relative strength is hitting lower lows. I don't see any real significant support. Well, this is significant, comes down at 68.55, but we're gonna have to write down like just round numbers. So just like we did yesterday, 69 cents. Okay. You're gonna find natural support at round numbers. Let's take a look at the Aussie. Okay, here's the Aussie dollar, and the Aussie dollar will well, we did actually break through that support yesterday. We had this little boxed in right here, and what we did do is we came down and we tested the 618. So this kind of now shows you exactly where our support should be. $76.75, huge support. It's a 618, so let's write that down. 0.7675, big support there. And resistance. So if you own the Aussie right now, which I don't know why you'd really own the Aussie, probably like, same thing. It's like, I don't know why I'm selling, uh, selling the Aussie doesn't make any much sense either. I mean, we're just kind of boxed in here. So selling the Aussie at 77.40. That makes sense. In the range. And let's go to the dollar index. All right, so this is what we were dealing with yesterday. It looks like everything has worked out pretty much as planned from yesterday's analysis. You can see that support, but we haven't made it quite up to resistance yet, and I think we cannot rule that out. So let's delete that, and zoom back out. And so now you can see this is the 38% retracements holding. So resistance be significant as we approach 96, and support is at 95.15. Okay, 95.15, 96. Actually, it's 95.90 probably. 95.90. $96 is just a fib up there. So we're in a range. Okay, let's take a real quick look at like the peso. Let's see if we can stick that one on there really quick if there's anything to view. So here's the peso. That was yesterday. Okay, we broke through support. Now, we didn't stop actually. We didn't stop at where I figured we'd stop here, but we didn't. And let's see if it was a fib level that really just kind of supported us. So I'd say if you guys want to sell the peso right now, it's probably not a bad short just from an intraday perspective. But if we break out, that 50% is holding. It's pretty messy right now. Very messy. I don't even know if that's really what the market's following, that channel. I just, it looks like it, but like I said, if you wanted to short it right now, you could probably short it with a real tight stop. Again, if you're bearish the dollar and you think the dollar is going to go down, then maybe that's not a bad trade. But again, you're betting against producer prices, which the market's expecting a pretty strong number today. So, that's obviously a bit of a risk. Let's see here. The euro's firming pretty good too right now. Not sure why, just is. Um, Hmm. I don't. I'm not going to put the peso on there. Let's go over to the Norwegian krona. So, oh, this. You know what? I remember looking at this yesterday. Okay, so this. See this. We had this range, right? Right. Very clear range. And what we did when we talked about it yesterday, we were like, it wasn't yesterday. It was like 2 days ago. We were here, right? We're like, look, we break out of this range. We're going either up here or down here, right? So we did this false breakdown, took us right back into the middle of the range. Obviously, some news out of Norway is driving the euro a little, or the U.S. dollar Norwegian krona lower. This is going to be really good support down here. So I'm going to write down that 770 again and 8. So just because we had this false breakdown, I don't know if I would be actually more apt to be buying it pretty soon. You know what I mean? So just some food for thought. Um, Usually false breaks like that lead to a complete reversal. Obviously, there was some news overnight that's driving it lower. And I mean, crude oil's weaker, so I don't know. Let's take a look at the. I mean, I don't even know if I should write that down. 770. Nah, I'm gonna leave it alone. It's too messy. Now, this is actually an important chart right here. Here's the U.S. dollar Swedish krona. Just in case the dollar breaks down, this U.S. dollar Swedish krona does look vulnerable. All right, it's really it's failed to rally. Um, you can see it here. It's failed to rally. We knocked our head up against the previous uh, previous broken trend line. We retested it, couldn't break. This is really important support. That comes in at what are the lows here? Basically 818. If this breaks, it's going to be ugly, I think. Okay. Keep an eye on it. I mean, if it breaks now, obviously, people have found it as value down here before. So, we get a strong producer prices number, this thing can bounce right back up again. So, resistance would be 830. We are in a range for now, but it's looking vulnerable. Okay. All right. Let's see. I got a lot of questions coming in. Randall says, any news this morning? Yeah, producer prices, Randall.